Ah! Ah! It's I. It is I, Aaron, and Todd.
What's
I am
up?
not Ghostface. You know why I'm oh, well, we're not gonna tell you. I almost said something, but we're not gonna say too
No.
much because, this is spoiler free.
Yes.
I almost made a quip. Maybe I'll redo the mask intro when we do our spoiler. I'll put it back on, "Ah!" and
Okay.
then I can say what I wanted to say. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
anybody out there that wants to watch both versions, they're gonna see me do the same fucking bit twice. Be funny. So hi everybody. Todd and I just got out of Scream 7, and
Yes.
we've been sort of counting this down all month. If you
Mhm.
guys have been following along, we have done commentaries for the first 6 films. We've done multiple tier lists, celebrating the franchise, ranking all the characters, ranking all the kills, and the big day's here.
Yes.
As of this recording, it is Thursday, so I went and we both saw the fan event.
Opening
I went
show.
I went to an AMC. They gave me a little like poster, like 11 by
Nice.
17 poster. I guess that'll go in the garage somewhere, maybe in the outhouse. I don't know. But we wanted to talk about the film, and we don't want to spoil it because we know it's early. But there's going to be some people out there that you know want to hear a little something, something. But we're
Yeah.
not going to spoil it. And for those of you that did see it early, like we did, there's also a spoiler video that we're going to put up simultaneously. We didn't really talk about like how we're going to format this. We've never actually done a real review like this where we kept it totally because we have to be careful. We have to keep it totally spoiler free.
Yeah,
And it's like,
yeah.
how do we talk about a Scream movie that's absolutely spoiler free? We could
Well,
start
we'll
off.
we'll talk about our experience going into the film, maybe a quick story, and then get into the characters and all that,
Mm,
so
well, for me, I had wretched diarrhea from some carne asada I grilled last night. I didn't
yeah.
even eat very much at all. I just ate a little bit of asada, dude. It was so spicy, and I paid for it 24 hours later. And literally 3 hours before I had to leave for the show, I'm shitting my brains out. I can't get off the toilet. I'm like, this is just my luck. And I'm
Jeez.
like, I'm like, oh my god. And all I was I had to take one last one. I thought we were loading up in the car to get going. And you know when you have like the squirts, dude,
Oh, yeah.
it's just a matter of there will be a final squirt and then it's like
Mhm.
all out of your system.
Mhm.
And I'm like, please let this be the final one. And like literally we're getting in the car, the wife's in the car. I'm like, I gotta go one more time.
Oh,
And I went up
jeez.
there and I'm already leaving like 5-10 minutes late, dude. And but
Yeah.
I'm glad I did because that was the one that got it out of my system. And
It
we rolled into the theater and it was
Mhm.
right as the film like the Paramount. It's like, oh, the
Oh,
spyglass.
wow, so you didn't get to see the trailers, so you
I
didn't get
take
to
it
see the
back. I did see this. I saw as I was walking in, you're right. I did see Scary Movie 6 trailer, which was
which
funny.
looks freaking hysterical, looks
I'm
funny, yeah.
glad that they chose that as the trailer right before the movie started because I
Yeah.
did get to see that. And it was pretty funny to see everybody back again. And interesting. I mean, of course they're gonna like lampoon movies like Smile and stuff, like the new stuff, but we'll
Yeah, and
see.
Sinners, and my story is kinda similar, like, drop my kids off at my brother's, and, we I took my wife, we went to the theaters. We're sitting in the theaters, I'm not gonna give anything away about the movie yet, but there's a dude that is farting throughout the whole movie. So and these aren't like, like farts that where you can, like, actually stand them. These are farts like you remember those, like, fart things where you, like glass little vials where you break them or whatever,
You
and they
stink.
smell, like, so freaking bad. It was like that, like, 6 times, dude, and we're sitting there like this every time we get that whiff that comes, and we look around and there's nobody else that's like, that smells it, which just blows us away. And then also, we have a room full of people that are like eating like I don't know if it's like Subway sandwiches because you hear the crinkling of the bags
Uh-huh.
drove us insane. But we tuned it out after a while. But just man, the theater experience for this movie terrible.
Well, and ours was packed.
Yeah,
Was your showing packed? And
hmm
mine was an IMAX, and it was a
mine was
packed IMAX. And like you, I had to tune out. There was a guy, like a couple of dudes, right in front of us because I was in the very back row, center, and two dudes right in front of us. Early in the movie, he was just straight up talking, just like, "Oh shit, oh fuck, man, what?"
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
on, man. What? Like in the first 20 minutes. And I don't know
Okay.
if he eventually stopped or if I just tuned it out, but
Mhm.
he wasn't even like trying to keep it under his breath or like, every now and again, like you had to talk to person he came with. He was just literally talking in his regular voice. Like, oh, come on, man. That's fucked up. What? I was this close to fucking nudging his seat. Like, dude, shut the
I
fuck
hate
up,
when
dude.
people do that.
Like,
That's
shut the
just
fuck up.
disrespectful, dude. Why would
Like,
you do
shut the
that?
fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, shut the fuck up.
I don't
Like,
get
what?
it, man.
These people weren't raised right. I couldn't tell if he was
Yeah.
like older or if he was younger. It's hard to tell, but I imagine he was younger because just wasn't raised right. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
you gotta respect people. They're paying for the film too, so it's like, yeah.
so let me see. I could figure out a way to talk about the flick without actually talking about the flick. We'll kind of break it down and give our review without giving too many details. So the
I wait, wait,
trailers,
wait, wait. God,
what?
it's just we haven't talked about this at all.
Nope.
So I want to know what Aaron like what just right off the bat what score you would give it, but I don't want it like influence me at all. Like I want to tell you, you can tell me that sort of thing. Um
You just want me to tell you straight up, or no? You want me to wait?
no, I'll tell you what I gave it to.
Oh, but no, now you put the pressure. I feel like I don't want you to influence me because I already have my preloaded answer. I thought about this the whole ride home.
I got a pen, dude. I'm gonna write mine down.
Oh, okay. I mean, um, well, let's put it this way. I don't know if I thought about a rating as so much as a ranking where it goes, but I can figure it out by then. Yeah, I don't. I'm not gonna write it down. I already know the answer. I'm not gonna change
Okay.
it.
Well, I just don't want to
Well,
influence each other
you're
on
not
this.
gonna influence me. You're not gonna
Okay.
influence me. Now, we just got out of the movie, so it is totally natural if I go to bed and I feel a certain way tomorrow or I stew on it, and then I'm just like you guys watching this, I'm gonna watch videos now that I've seen it. I like hearing the discussion,
Oh, I will
and
after the fact,
and
yeah.
it does, like,
I haven't
certain
seen
people
anything yet though,
certain
so I
people
don't know.
make you think about stuff, and yeah, but I'll tell you I'll be totally honest on how I feel. But anyway, talking about the film, keeping it vague, no spoilers. I would say the trailers pretty much do the film justice. Like you kind of know what you're getting into.
Mhm.
Um, for me, there was nothing to. This is not a spoiler, but I will say one thing. Breaking it up, gosh, should we save like the goods and the bads for the spoiler or this one? Fuck it. I'll do it here. It's just so hard. I like the intro.
Yes,
The
yes.
intro
I did
scene was
too. I'm
cool.
with you on
I
that.
thought it was, very realistic. It's exactly what
Mhm.
would happen,
Yeah,
to
especially
something like
nowadays.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 100%. This
Mhm.
is what we really do in culture, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool, and I thought they, like I said, I gotta be careful.
That's where it kind of fell apart a little bit for me.
Well, I gotta be careful because, we can't talk about any fucking spoilers, but what I will say is, um, the new characters, they're fine, they're par for the course. Whenever you introduce new people, I
They're not good.
I'm just biased. I don't like anybody new. I don't like anybody since the first movie. I gotta be honest with you.
I and the fact is I do like people since the first movie.
Well,
But this movie, I'm not a fan of the characters in this film. I mean, honestly,
yeah,
I even the recurring characters, I don't like the recurring characters either.
there's something that I'll have to get off my chest on the spoiler video. So whenever
Yeah.
you guys watch the film, watch that video because I have follow-ups to these things that we're talking about that I can't say,
Yeah.
about this particular topic, which I'll get to. But overall, I can't complain too much. I mean, I got what I wanted. I just wanted a stabby movie, to see a slasher. The theater was packed. It was once I kinda got through that annoying guy in front of me, everybody was, like, making good noise, like, "Ooh," when there was, like, sound stuff. It had good audio design, like, the sound design was really cool, and, there was some, like, pop scares because of the sound design. It was cool. I This movie feels really different to me.
Yeah,
It feels
absolutely.
really different, and I'd say that's a plus.
I don't well,
I
some
I
people would
think
think that.
I think it's a plus because, again, it stands out. I think at least it stands out from the rest of this, just like 3, for better or worse, stands out as, like, its own thing. Um, but let's just say going into this, there was a lot of speculation, a lot of theories, and, more or less, I mean, I had a bunch of theories, and they didn't exactly come true, but
We
the
had one that
broad
did. We
the
had one that did.
broad the broad stuff that I
Mhm.
thought, like, I not the fine tunings of it, but the broad idea was more or less, it, and we have to get more into that in spoilers. I absolutely hate that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, I think, I didn't hate all the new characters. I like Sydney's husband. I think he's fine. You didn't think,
No,
Joel McHale
he's
was alright?
no, no, he didn't do it for me.
Yeah, well,
And
he's no
I
Tom
can't
Cruise.
I just can't wait to talk about this. But, did it live up to my expectations? It did not for me. For me.
Well, the problem, and I think this belongs in this
I
one,
think there's a lot of issues with this
the
film.
problem with it is they're I know people have said Sydney was signed on to, like, a 3-picture deal and all this shit that debunks it, but the advertising is almost selling it like it is closing the loop. I'm like, "Okay," or, like I said, they're advertising like, "Oh, it ends where it begins," and all this stuff. Like, "Okay, we're gonna have some closure. Maybe they'll reboot it again later and have different people." But my problem with it is outside of some new ideas that kinda break some of the regular format, it's just a Scream movie. It's just another Scream movie. There's nothing big and revolutionary about this one. It's just another Scream movie full of people, yet again, obsessed with remaking the first movie.
Yeah.
And it's just
Mhm.
like, we've done this in 4, we've done this in 5, we've done like, how often do we have to kinda, like, mirror the Billy Loomis bedroom thing? Everybody's obsessed with Billy Loomis and Sidney Prescott and just, all these callbacks to the first movie. I just feel like we've done this 3 fucking times.
We have, we have. I mean, it did have its good moments, though. I mean,
Yeah.
Stu's house, the opening was cool. Um,
Spoilers, Todd, be careful. You just kinda gave something away,
well, it was in the trailer, so I mean,
but
I
they didn't say
figured.
that was the fucking opening.
Oh, sorry. Um, so there was few
That
like
could have been the end of the movie for all people knew.
oh, shit. I'll cut that out. Um, there is okay, so there's some let's just say there's some cool kills in here, um,
Mhm.
which I think helped out the movie quite a bit. Uh, Entertaining kills like I didn't see coming or like when
Yeah,
I
try
saw
new
when I s- yeah when I saw him
try
I
new
was like
inventive stuff.
yeah I enjoyed it. But we'll kind of get into that here once we're done with the non spoiler.
It's like I said, super hard. I don't even
Yeah,
you don't even wanna talk about any details about a Scream movie because
yeah,
it's kinda
yeah,
hard to not give anything away that gives a lot away. But all I could say is the tone was unique, and I part of me liked it, but at the same time, it felt unfamiliar at times, but I didn't mind that. It felt a little different, um, but at the same time, it just didn't stick the landing with that. It didn't feel I don't feel like the way it all wrapped up matched that energy. And
yeah.
by the end of it, it's like, "Oh, it's just another fucking Scream movie." You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I remember you championing Tatum. Like I wasn't a huge fan of her in this film.
Why was
Um,
I championing her?
well, for the other thing she was in like Yellowstone,
Oh,
and I'm
in
sure she's a great actress, but like,
Yellowstone 1820, yeah, she was a great actress in that.
yeah,
And, same thing, the other girl that's in the opening, she's from another show, and
mhm,
she's great in that show. But yeah, I mean, like, it's all about the writing, and, I did find her character annoying in this,
mhm,
the Sydney's daughter. In Yellowstone, like, it's the Pioneer Days, the prequel, she's a very mature character. Like, she's a teenager, but she narrates the whole thing, she carries herself like a grown woman, and it's just different, and then it was really hard to see her in that show and think she was really good, and then see her as, like, a teenager on her cell phone talking to her boyfriend in this, and I wasn't buying it, and it's just teen angst bullshit. "Oh, mom tells me what you think about
yeah,
me."
yeah,
Um And the thing is I don't buy it because I still see that chick from Yellowstone, and
Mhm.
she even, like, has this, like, voice. I'm like, "No, this doesn't sound like you're not matching with this character they wrote you with." It doesn't feel it feels like bad casting. Like, it's
Yeah.
not right. Because I think she is good, but,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm sure she is. I'm not for this role though,
I feel
in
like,
my opinion.
I feel like the McKenna Grace girl, no spoilers, but she's in the movie. She's, let's just say, flying, theater, right?
Oh,
That
yeah,
girl?
yeah. Mhm.
Okay, she's like
Yeah,
an it girl right now.
yeah.
Um,
That
she
was a cool
probably
scene, yeah.
she probably would have been a better fit for Sydney's daughter.
Sure, sure.
I don't know. I just don't think they cast, Sydney's daughter very well. I think she's a great actress. I think she's nice to look at, but she wasn't selling me on, like, the teen angst. She just I don't know.
God,
But
who does she remind me of? What's that? God, she's a very familiar actress to me. Like, she's been in a whole hell of a lot of films. Like, I can't think of it, but she has the face that I've seen a million times in Hollywood. It's like she doesn't really stand out to me like some of these other actresses that have been
she's got
prior
an
screen
Ivanka
films.
Trump face, dude.
Yeah, something like that. It's just like it's a dime a dozen for me. It's like I don't know.
You gotta watch the show I'm talking about, though.
Mm,
She's really good in that, and, she sticks out. But yeah, man, I don't know how much we can really say. I think all I can say is what I thought about the film overall. Like, what can we really talk about
yeah,
that's not gonna give away anything other than it feels different. They break the norm a little bit with the format a little bit, kinda not unlike what they did with 6, where they subvert your expectations with the intro. Like, "Whoa, we see that guy, we see, Flash Thompson kill, Samara Weaving in the alley." It's like, "Whoa, are we gonna get, like, a movie through the killer's perspective?" And then
mm,
he just gets killed by the real killer, and well, we're just back to a regular Scream movie, you know? But for a second, they had me going. This movie does a little bit of that, so it's kinda refreshing. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just another Scream movie, which I felt like it could have been more, I think, with the stuff it was doing. But I'll tell you right now, I'll just tell you what I thought about it. This video can be short and sweet. We'll just
mm.
talk about what we thought about it, and because the juicy one is gonna be the spoiler video. And I hate it. I feel like we could do so much better with this if it wasn't a Scream movie. Because the second I talk about any fucking character,
Yeah,
it's a domino effect. I
hmm,
can't do that.
yeah.
But, my thoughts. Um, Now when I throw it in this ranking, you can take it with a grain of salt because the movies on the back, some of these like, it's not hard to be better than 3, right? You know what I mean? Like, just because it falls somewhere, just in my opinion, this sits behind 5, maybe in 4th place. But then again, it's not that means it's just beating 6. It's just beating 4 and it's beating 3, you
Okay,
know?
okay.
But if I'm being honest, I would say when I walked out of the theater, I'm like, like I could see it being after I sit on it for a minute, it's possible it might be kind of like more or less like 5, like somewhere, but the thing
Really?
is there's a big chasm of like space between the first couple of movies and the rest. So, like, it's not the first movie. It's not gonna touch the first movie,
No, no.
and I always thought it was 1, 2, and then 5. I'm like, "Okay, 5 rounds out the top 3." I would say this is at the very least right behind 5. I will say it's better than 6. I'll give it that, and maybe that is because it's just fresh and new. That might be something I have to do revisit it at, like, later in a couple of years, watch both of them again, and I like the tone of this one better than 6. The way it
Really?
yeah, I like the way it looks and I like the way it feels. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with that. But 6 is just so fucking stupid at the end. Uh,
It's stupid, but it's a lot of fun, dude.
it is a lot of fun, but we'll get there. That's where I feel. And if I give Scream 1 a 10 out of 10, and if I give Scream 2 an 8 out of 10 or something, I don't know, and I gave Scream 5 a 7 out of 10, I would say this is I'm gonna call it a 6.5 out of 10. Like, it's possible. The thing
Wow.
is like, I don't expect much out of slashers, Todd.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
I just wanna be entertained, and this one was on the shorter end. It wasn't
Mhm.
because all Scream movies are give or take around 2 hours, whether, like, 5 minutes less, 5 over. This was 5 less. This is an hour and 54 minutes. I didn't feel I felt like, after the intro, some of the setup was dragging for a couple of minutes.
Mhm.
Like, we're introducing you into Sydney's current life, introducing you to, like, where she's working, introducing you to her daughter and that dynamic. That was, like, dragging for a minute, but it didn't last too long. I'm like, maybe just it felt like a really slow 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But then it kinda picks up, and it is what it is, and I all I wanted out of this was a fun slash 'em up, and I got it. It didn't have to be amazing. It didn't have to fucking just reinvent the wheel for me personally, but that's where I'm putting it. It is I wholeheartedly believe that I will not have a change of heart and say that it is worse than 3 or 4. I will not. I
Okay.
will not.
Okay.
So where do you put it? Just tell me where you put it.
Uh, I put this okay, so this film has so many issues with it that the characters, I don't like any of the characters. I don't like any of the recurring characters. I don't like any of the new characters. Like I said, there's a few kills that I really like. The intro I liked. Um, Overall though, like this Scream movie is very forgettable in my opinion. It's a big disappointment. Do I like it better than 3? 3 is the one I hate the most.
Don't
I
tell
I
me
like this
it
slightly better than 3.
Oh, what?
Yes,
You're just you're so you like
slightly
4
better than
better?
3. Yes, I like 4 better.
Ridiculous.
Yes, because I think the
Weird.
characters in 4 are actually better, and as much as I hate Jill,
You hated the characters in 4
I
before you
do.
rewatched it,
As
but
much as I hate J they're more memorable than these characters,
but
man.
guess what? Guess what changed that? I guess what? Time. Because you were telling me how much you hated the character, and then you rewatched 4 as part of this marathon we've done, and you're like, "Oh, you know what? It's not so bad." I'm telling you, time changes Scream movies a
4
little
actually
bit.
has, 1 character I like. This one doesn't have any characters that I like.
Okay. So,
So,
we'll have to get into that with the spoilers because I can't wait. I wanna talk spoilers. But so you're telling me it's second to the bottom.
it's a 4 out of 10 for me.
Wow, second to the bottom. And where
Yes.
do you so what do you rank 3? Like, what do you give it as a
I
rating?
I give it a 4 as well, but I mean,
Wow.
but I would say that this is better than 3 in my opinion, so they're both 4 out of 10s.
Wow. So I'm a little softer on it as far
Mhm.
as like 6.5 out of it just doesn't take as much to please me with this shit. Like just don't set it on a studio backlot in Hollywood and
I
we're
totally
fine.
agree. Which 6, I mean, they could have made it like 6, and I enjoyed 6 for what it was, but,
This isn't really a spoiler, but, like, because I went into this with no knowledge, like, I didn't want to, like, study trailers, I didn't
oh,
wanna,
I
like,
didn't either.
I didn't wanna do any deep dives, but I was pleasantly it doesn't take place in Woodsboro. I was happy for
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
They kinda it's like the advertising, you see them like, burning down Stu's house and all that
Mhm.
shit. It's like, "Okay, we're in Woodsboro." No, there is a lot of what do I call them? Like okays, like, when I was seeing, like, stuff unfold in the story, it's like, "Okay, like,
Mhm.
that's what we're doing?
Mhm.
Okay." And, they always say in Scream movies, "It's always somebody from your past, and there's always this thread and this thread," and this movie's like, "Okay, this is what you did, this is what you did, this is what we did." Um I I I don't know what the general consensus, was of the theater I was in. People were kinda making noises like, "Oh, whoa," and there's, like,
Yeah.
kills and stuff, but it's not like I've been to, um I've been to debut nights before, and people erupt with applause, those people.
Mhm.
I'm not one of those
Yeah.
people.
No, I'm not either.
Um, and I think it's really cheesy when people do that. Like, you sit down like, trust that's what the Marvel crowd does.
Mhm.
Back when I was seeing some of those Marvel movies in theaters back in the early dude, they just like, "Oh," everybody goes fucking nuts, and I'm like, "What? I'm just gonna can I make my way through you guys? I'm gonna get out of here now." Um, yeah, there wasn't none of that. There was people at my showing though dressed as Ghostface.
Oh, okay.
There was a few people in full gown and Ghostface. Yeah, there was people there, so I really could have got the fill, dude. I didn't want to take a shit at the theater because I didn't want to have to like be tempted to put my ear to the wall and get a
Yeah.
fucking dick in my ear. like,
The
Shawn Wayans, dude.
the only thing I wanted out of this film was to entertain me like 6. Like, I don't love 6, but it's damn entertaining, and this one didn't even give me that. So that's what really.
But you have to admit, you grew softer to 6 in time.
No, I always thought it was like, there's parts of 6 I think are really, really cool, but there's maybe one part in this film that I think is really cool.
Okay.
So,
Well, I think we have to leave it there. So, um, if you've seen the film, there's a spoiler video out at the same time as this one. Move over to that one, and we're gonna get really detailed. We're gonna break this thing down because, like I said, it's real tough to not to just not give spoilers, man. So all we can more or less do is tell you kind of what our thoughts were about the film and what our impressions were. I don't want to say never with a movie like because I mean the Scream franchise has proven to
go see it. Yeah, you gotta judge it for yourself. Everybody's gonna be
this,
different on
but
this.
I'm saying like I'm a little softer on 6 now, like, in a good way, than I used to be, because it's like, "Oh, it is really fun." It's fucking stupid,
It's
but it's
stupid, that's
fun. There's, like,
fun,
really
yeah.
good kills and stuff like that, and it's just
Mhm.
a so, like, you know, 4 isn't I don't think Todd hates 4 as much as he thought he did when you rewatched it, like, right? Uh I feel
Uh,
like I think 4 isn't as offensive as, like, when I first watched it. I'm like, "You know what? It's not that bad," but the only movie that I've really stayed 100% on is my love for the first one and my disdain for the 3rd
yeah,
one.
the
That's
3rd
kind of
one's
it.
I hate the 3rd one,
That's
yeah.
kinda everything else, you kinda like
Mhm.
time changes stuff, but, anyway, that's it for this one. If you haven't seen it yet, do circle back when you have, watch the spoiler episode, and, if it's your first time on the channel, please give us a sub and like the video and check out, the last months of content. The last month of
Yep.
content, we've done nothing but cover all Scream films, and,
Got it all on a
yeah.
playlist for you too,
Actually,
so.
by the time you guys are watching this, if you guys are watching this when it's up, we're technically doing Scream 6 tonight.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like technically because 'cause we're a little backwards, right? Because this
Yeah.
can So, anyway, we'll catch you guys later.